Okie dokie. So I'm gonna start, even though I don't see anyone in here yet. Um, I wanted to do this live because a lot of people think, including myself a couple months ago, that the best way to do tarot was to have these really expensive decks. And you really don't need super expensive decks. Tarot is really more about what you bring to it than what kind of stuff you have. Oh, hey, Sam. And I see another Sam, and I see Echo Woods, and I see Hineki. Hi. So it's fun because I haven't done one of these. Hi, ADHD Dad Life. I haven't. Thank you. Yeah, this is actually my mom's top. So not gonna lie, I'm finding myself in between sizes. So I'm like borrowing stuff from her, but um, you know, that's neither here nor there. But I wanted to do this because I know a lot of people think you need to go on Kickstarter and back a super expensive um, tarot deck or oracle deck. And I wanted to tell everyone, first of all, no, you don't. And yeah, my mom has good taste. Secondly, there are some things out there. I usually use Amazon. I have conflicted feelings about it, but where I live, it's really difficult to get delivery otherwise. Well, I think it's difficult everywhere now, but either way, I wanted to just run through some of my favorite cards or favorite decks rather, and show you what I use them for, maybe pull a card if we have time and just chat about them. Now, I will put links to all of these in my post that accompanies this live. So, watch out for that. But I'm going to start with the Night Wait Tarot deck and I'll show you the box. So, the box is really vibrant and I really liked the idea of collages. Like, I really love a good collage deck. There aren't very many of them that I had seen until I started really delving deep, and I just put my phone on do not disturb because I kept getting all these Substack notifications. Not anybody chatting, but like other people posting. So, like I was saying, Nightway is based on like the original tarot creators and designers. So right away, it has some pretty good people behind it, right? So I like that there's collages in each one, and they take photos from the past of famous people, not so famous people, and put them onto the deck. And I just really like collage. So I'm gonna describe a little bit. First of all, I use this one as like a tough love deck, just because I feel it's very direct. And I actually, like, I want to say a year or so ago, I used AI to do a deck personality reading for each card or each deck rather. And then I put it into like a really cool chart and use that as a reference. Whenever I'm doing my readings for ADHD Tarot or for myself, I can go into my Claude AI, which is what I use, and say, hey, I'm doing this reading. Can you look at my deck personality chart and tell me which deck I should be using? And most of the time, it's really on point. So I really believe, we can use AI to our advantage there. But I will tell you, I really like the cards. The card stock is really quite sturdy. Like you could see, I'm trying to flex it. It flexes a little bit, but it's like that perfect thickness. Yeah, I will link to that, Sam. I have a whole procedure. I gave it some instructions and had it walk me through my interview that I designed, and then they gave me my own chart. So I think that's really important to sort of know what decks you should be using because different decks have different personalities, I think, and certain ones are better for certain things. So, first of all, let's do a little shuffle. And Eight of Wands. Stuff is happening fast. So, this is the kind of imagery. So, you get this like photorealistic vibe with a lot of colors. And I really like all the colors. I like that there's a little bit of a gold edge to it. I love a good gilded edge on tarot decks. And the colors, as you could see, like it's really vibrant and there's a lot of different facets of the card. And you can look into like what certain colors mean, certain images. Like it looks like there's some sort of quartz on the bottom here, for example, and, clarity, I feel like, and stuff is coming in for you. And then you have the cool pink background. So all these cards are like this. Like this one isn't a great example because it doesn't have that collage vibe, but like here's the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is usually like an exchange, and you're basically having a really nice simpatico with somebody or something that's in your life. So I really like how they have this black and white figure, and then they have this really vibrant background. So these are really cool. Like I said, for me, it's more of a tough love deck. For you, it might be something else. And I will put a link to it, but I can say it's very high quality for the cost. I haven't looked at how much it was recently. I think I paid like 20 something dollars on Amazon. And, they go on sale all the time. I find a lot of tarot decks and books will sometimes go on crazy sales. So just watch for that. And you can see how shiny it is. So I do get the vibe stuff is happening quickly for you guys because I pulled that Eight of Wands and we are coming out of retrograde apparently, which explains a lot because I think everyone knows that I'm not super convinced about astrology and I'm not very knowledgeable about it. So maybe if I was, I would do better with it. But like the last 2 weeks, I was working on my figure skating stuff because I'm also involved in figure skating and trying to get an answer from various people, and their entire computer system crashed. And I couldn't contact anybody. And I'm like sending all these emails because there was a snafu. And like, when I saw that we were coming out of a retrograde, I'm like, this makes total sense because it was like retrograde crazy the past couple weeks. So, sometimes, I don't know. I think sometimes they have something to say. Um, so we got Modern Witch here. This is like my favorite, okay? This is my go-to. First of all, I love the box. It's really sturdy. You can like, if you have a desk or a bookshelf, you could just put it on there like a book and it will stay upright. And it's sturdy enough that, like some tarot decks, you feel worried about having, um, too much pressure on them in a box standing up because you worry the cards might get warped or something. This is sturdy. It's like hard. So I really like that. I like the images. As you might have guessed, this is like a modern version of the Rider Waite Tarot. So if you are familiar with Rider Waite Tarot, you've probably seen all the images, but this is like that with modern people, modern women. And it's more body diverse as well. It's inclusive. So it's not just all super skinny white people, which I also like. It has a little bit more diversity, and the card feel is really nice. It has a little bit of glossiness to it. So it doesn't have any gilding, which I'm disappointed about, but it is like, again, pretty sturdy. And we got the Ace of Cups, so your cup is gonna run it over, I guess. But like when I shuffle it, it shuffles really easily. Like some of the cards that aren't glossy, they kind of stick together. And that's the one thing, like the night weight is a little tricky to shuffle sometimes, depending on who you are. But I really like this one because it's easy to shuffle. Ace of Swords got decisive action. So we had an Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords. New beginnings, maybe emotionally with somebody, and maybe you're being more decisive, taking action on certain things. So I use Modern Witch pretty much as a general deck. Um, it's a good beginner one as well because you have a little book with it as well. And you can go through and it'll give you little descriptions. Like, let's use Ace of Swords as an example here. Ace of Swords. Now I gotta find it. A rush of clarity and inspiration comes with the beginning of this journey. You may feel that your thoughts are racing constantly. Who doesn't? The wheels are turning and you've reached a revelation. This is just the beginning of a difficult path, though, and you'll need all your wits and reason about you to see it through. That's reassuring. So maybe you're starting a new challenge and you're, gonna need all your resources and be sharp and be on your game. Um, that kind of aligns with what we had in the last one with the Eight of Wands, which is stuff rushing in. So who knows? Maybe this retrograde ending will bring in some good things for everybody. But yeah, I really recommend this deck. I really like it. It's probably one of my favorites, the one I reach for the most, and I just can't say enough good things about it. And as I said, I will put links to all of these at the end of this video in the corresponding post. So you can go directly to the page. Okay, we got that. Now you got a close up of my arm. Moonjube Tarot. Okay. So this one is another collage deck, and I actually got this one pre-order because I found it on something, I don't even know what. I was reading some tarot blog and they mentioned it and I thought, Moonjube, that's a weird name. But that's the name of the artist. And they have all these really cool illustrations, again, collage based. What I really like about this deck is it's a little bit bigger than your average deck. So most tarot cards are a little more narrow. These are a little fatter and they're a little bit easier to hold in my case, like in my experience. I know some people have small hands, they don't like big cards. I'm one of the opposite people. I like big cards and I cannot lie. So, this one I can shuffle a little bit. It is a really easy shuffle. It is very glossy and I really like the background or the back of the cards, the back illustration. We have this nice rainbow, which is very encouraging. And we got Ace of Cups again. So someone's getting Ace of Cups vibes. I don't know if that's all you or what, but Ace of Cups is in my experience like starting a new journey of emotion, like touching it, getting into your emotions, figuring out what is making you feel a certain way. It could be like going to therapy, but it's like this really hopeful card that good things are happening for you. So let me read what they describe because it does come with this nice book again. Big cards and I cannot lie. Yeah, I don't know if my hands are that small or that big, but I like having the big cards just because you get more artwork too. And that's really important to me. So Ace of Cups. Okay. So this is a new emotional chapter. Yeah, that's what I was saying. May signal the start of a relationship, partnership, career opportunity, or even the birth of a child. Open our hearts and minds to possibilities. So a lot of ADHD people, like we have a really conflicted feeling about change. Like most of us do not do well with change, and I include myself in that. When I had two moves going on during the pandemic in 2021, I kind of had like a mental, I don't want to say breakdown because it wasn't, but like I had a reckoning and my old coping mechanisms weren't working for me. And so that's what actually led me to get re-diagnosed with ADHD. So, like, this is something, change is exciting, but for a lot of us, it's really destabilizing. So, you want to be aware, like, as stuff is coming in quickly, again, we get that Ace of Wands energy. You're going to want to make sure you have a way to ground yourself a little bit and like not let the energy carry you away because it is easy to get carried away with energy. We like things fast, we like things exciting, but that can also be really dysregulating. So, you want to find a way to ground yourself. And I'm just figuring that out about myself too. Like, find a way to be present in your life, whether that's meditation, which a lot of us can't do, or yoga, or taking a walk outside. Like, I think a lot of us need to put in actual practices because we're not going to do them on our own. So that's my spiel there. But I got the Ace of Cups again. I like this deck. Has really cool collage vibe. Oh, this one's cool. Look at this is a tower, which is a scary card usually. But like look at those people like just flying off the tower. And there's yeah, that's pretty dramatic. But I love it. I love how dramatic these cards are as well. Like they just have a really unpredictable quality to them. And like you could see the imagery here. It's not something you'd expect. Like every card is a new surprise. So if you like surprises and novelty, which a lot of us ADHD people do, I think you would really like the Moonjube Tarot. I'll show you the box again. I will again put links to all these in my posts. I know I said that before. Yeah, I know that tower card is really on point for a tower and really dramatic and really memorable too. More so than like the traditional, which is just a tower. Like you see people, but they're not the focal point. Okay. So I might need to take a sip of water, guys. I have my little, you know what? I have this little topper on it because this morning I went to my bedside table to take a drink of water like I do every morning, and I had something in my mouth and I spit it out. You know those weird little bugs, like the ones with the little pinchers on either side? Somehow that thing got into my Stanley mug, and I don't even know how. I don't know if it just crawled down the straw or what, but I took that water, I spilled it out. This is a new one. That was my moment of what the heck that happened this morning. So, yeah, be careful out there. There's bugs. There's bugs. Let's see what I got next. Neoteric Feminine. So this one is a basic one. It's from Weispel, which is a pretty common tarot publisher. And you can see like it has this sort of old school but modern vibe. So I got this was one of the first ones I got on my tarot spree of 2023, I guess it was. And I bought all these decks and now I have to use them every day because I have a lot of decks. So, luckily none of them were that expensive, but and I don't have that many, I guess, compared to some people. But um this one I kind of like the back. The back is like this cool peach and gold, and it is glossy as you could see. So you have the benefit of the gloss to help you shuffle. It is very easy to shuffle. It's probably easier to shuffle than most of the other cards I have. So I'm shuffling. Let's see what comes up. This one's jumping. Five of Wands. So that's like, I believe this is like a competition card. So a lot of times when we have stuff coming in, we're kind of like trying to defend our turf. And I think like you don't want to necessarily do that. You want to find a way to compete without being cutthroat and compete in a way that's like sportsmanlike. And it doesn't have to be in sports. It could be in a job, it could be in relationships, but you want to avoid like trying to one up people, trying to, grab stuff before it gets taken away from you, because that's just going to make you more stressed. And so we have that 8 of Wands coming in. There's 8 wands. There's lots of opportunities for everyone. So you want to avoid that competitiveness that like I have to be better than so and so because you're running your own race. So I'm getting that for a lot of people, actually. I feel like when we're coming out of this retrograde, we want to get stuff done and we want to see things move now. But a lot of times we tend to push. So you don't want to push either. You want to be a little more secure and trust that what should find you will find you. Also, my neighbor is doing yard work, so that's what that sound is. So, really recommend these cards. You could see they're very vibrant. They have like almost an Art Deco quality. I don't know how to describe it, but like this one, I really like the Ace of Cups again. Our friend the Ace of Cups keeps stalking us from deck to deck. And it just has like that really dreamy quality. I really like it. And I will put links to that as well. But this is pretty easy to find because Weispel's one of the biggest tarot manufacturers, publishers, whatever on the market. So that's that one. And let's see what's up next. Lightseers. So Lightseers is one of my favorites too. And I actually got the small one, the travel deck, mainly because it was on sale and it was cheap. And this is by Chris Ann. I really love her artwork. You might have seen some of her cards out and about. A lot of the folks on Substack use this deck. I was just reading Healing Through Tarot, I believe, use the deck for something. So, you know, And you're gonna have to trust me because these are tiny. So you could see how tiny they are compared to a traditional card, but um, they are normally bigger. There's a full size, there's a travel size. I got the travel size because I'm cheap. So it's actually called a pocket tarot. But it is easy to shuffle. I'm not crazy about the back, honestly. Normally I like black on the back of cards. It's just a little bit it's not that impactful to me, but it is what it is, you know? It is glossy, does shuffle quite easily. The edges are a little bit rough because they don't have that gold or silver gild like some others, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's a good little deck to have like on your bedside table if you want to do a reading like first thing in the morning. I got the Two of Pentacles. So this is to me about balance and making sure you're keeping everything up in the air. Maybe I don't came out upright, but reverse, this is about you not being balanced and you're not keeping, you know, steady on things. You're sort of unbalanced, disorganized, stressed out. And like with all these opportunities coming in, we got to again have those practices that keep us balanced. Not perfectly cuz that's not possible. Especially with ADHD folks, we're kind of like we thrive in chaos, but like getting a little bit better at balancing and not losing all your energy to one thing. So that's the card I got for this one. And you could see the artwork is really dramatic. And I like the script, the typeface she uses, whatever that is. Maybe it's not typeface, but I just love how swoopy it is. It's very impactful. Uh the Devil. This is a weird one. I kind of like it, but it's kind of disconcerting. That's the Devil. His eyes are hypnotic. And so it's a very different vibe than like other cards. I feel like it's more, again, more inclusive, but it's also, it feels very yoga to me. It feels like a yoga deck. Like there's a King of Cups dude. He's just hanging with his singing bowls. But yeah, everyone kind of looks sort of bohemian, new agey, which is cool. It's a different aesthetic. Um, but yeah, I really like this one. This is my favorite, the High Priestess. I really like that. It's just so unique. Like you could see she's receiving some downloads, some intuition from something, and just a totally different vibe, but you still get like the good thing about tarot, a tarot deck is good when it conveys the same as a Rider Waite, even if it doesn't use the same imagery. Like a lot of times novelty decks, yeah, cool, you have, I don't know, Batman and Robin tarot, but it doesn't always like play into the traditional imagery of a Rider Waite. And that's fine. Like that's what I'm doing with my cards. It's going to be ADHD based. It's going to have meanings for ADHD and neurodivergent folks. So the meanings are going to be a little different. So the images can be a little different. But you got to walk that line between keeping things similar and like sort of going in a different direction without totally abandoning the card. Yeah, I didn't notice that either. Oh, yeah, yeah, I see that. It looks like eyeshadow. Like, until you look really close at her eyes, you could see. So her eyes are open, but her eyes are closed. So, like, it's kind of that duality of her receiving intuition. Instead of just, like, being totally oblivious to everything, she is aware. She's just experiencing some guidance, which, yeah, thanks. That's a good one, Sam. I didn't even notice that. To me, yeah, it is like magic eye. It looks almost like eyeshadow until you really look, and then once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, that is the Light Seers. I have a few more minutes. I'm not going to go too long. I wanted to show two more of my favorite. Oh boy. So somehow I got these mixed up. There we go. Two of Pentacles, back where they belong. I'm going to show you two more, and these are really fun. the Muse Tarot. This is by Chris-Anne again. So I guess I went on a Chris-Anne buying spree at some point without knowing it, but this is a really unique one because not only is the imagery really far out, and this is by Hay House, by the way, so Hay House makes these, but it's more for creatives, it's more for people who are artistic and trying to get them some, specific meanings for the creative life. So, and look at this box. The box is so cool. It's so like vibrant and unexpected. And again, very sturdy box. You could definitely stack these, stand them up, and let me show you the back. The back of the card. It's pink roses and like a little seafoam green and just really nice to shuffle. I know I've said that about most of these, but there are some cards that aren't glossy that are difficult to shuffle. And I'm thinking of an indie deck I use a lot. I'm trying to remember which one it is now. I think I just used it yesterday. I don't remember. Anyway, one of them is not super glossy. Oh, okay. Little Light Tarot. So that's an indie deck. And I love the images. It's really pretty. It's just, it's not it's not glossy at all. So they kind of stick together. And the same thing for another deck I was using the other day. I don't even remember now. I got to figure that out. But I remember saying, wow, I really can't shuffle that well. These I can, though. So I got the Fool, and we all have that. Most of us know what the Fool looks like. It's somebody walking off the cliff. Usually there's a little dog behind them that's sort of like blithely following them. But this is more like esoteric. You see, there's a ladder here, sort of going from the sky, the universe, to this cliff. This person is just walking along. It's like bridging two worlds, I feel like. And that's kind of what we do as creators is we're trying to like take something that's only in our minds and bring it into the physical world. And let me read what her take on this is. That's my take on it. Let me see what Chris-Anne has to say. And again, really cool guidebook. And it's quite thick, so she has some detail here. It's not, and she calls this an offbeat tarot deck. And she said it's meant to be eclectic and quirky, and it's meant to tickle the senses and to springboard your curiosity and intuition. So it's very much about creativity. And she uses different suits. So the wands are inspiration, the cups are emotions, swords are voices, and pentacles have bloomed into materials, which makes sense because pentacles are usually about physicality and security. So, pretty cool. It does take a little getting used to, I will say. And I only use this once in a while. I forget. Let me look at my chart what this one is for. Um, it's like a creative director. So it's not every day I use it. It's more for like business, creative, like big decisions. And I will say, let me run through what of the other ones. This one's actually really bubbly. So this is really like uplifting, optimistic. This Neoteric one is daily decisions, kind of like Modern Witch. So like this is what I use them for. It's not what you have to use them for. In fact, I encourage you to figure out your deck's decision personalities on your own. I will include a link to that as well. But the Fool is, let's see what the Fool is. Yeah. Major Arcana. A new journey, beginnings, trusting the universe, optimism, not knowing what's coming, naivete, needing to learn new skills, analysis paralysis, we all know about that, and a leap of faith. And the prompt is uncertain beauty, which is kind of nice. She hums a tune she used to know, and with bated wishes, she leaps into an abyss of stars and possibility. A million bits of colored stardust rise up to meet her, and she greets myth and opportunity as she tumbles forward. She sees her future here in this beautiful swirl of light and potential. And then there's a conversation with the muse. What are you searching for? Something brave, she whispers, something new. She asks herself, "Are you ready for this? Can you take this journey?" And the muse wants her to remember that she is, and she can. She wants to believe in her magic. As she leaps, she leans deeper into trust and begins to hum once more. A song that sounds different this time around. Grander, epic even. The notes vibrate the space around her, and her new path begins to unfold, leaving nothing to do but begin. So that's most of what she writes. I did skip a few little bits, but the vibe is very similar to what I said. New beginnings, possibility, opportunity. And this is like the kind of vibe of all these cards. They're very um, unusual. So this is a cool one. Muse of Materials. I think that's a page, the muse, but look at it's sideways. And really cool images, really cool placement. And you see someone walking across that bridge. They're going into something new. You could see the future there. Just really cool. Really cool deck. I don't use this one enough. I think I need to use it more. Okay, last one, and then we'll adjourn. Muse Tarot. I did Cozy Witch. This one is my last and probably one of the ones that I really like the most. I just rarely use it because I keep it in my closet and I forget it exists. So, but this I got on Amazon as well. It was on sale. This is like a really great fall deck, like for autumn. Um, just the vibe is very cozy, as you can imagine, with a cozy witch. And the author and artist, the author is Amanda Lovelace. Artwork is by Janina Medeiros. So I really like the artwork. So first, I'll show you. The cool thing is the back is cool. It has big pumpkin spice latte vibes. So you got your coffee cups, your candles, your pentacles, your wand, or your swords. I guess the coffee cups are meant to be wands in this scenario. I don't know. But it's really cool. I really like this. The artwork is really cute. It's more of a cozy vibe. And the best thing is they come with little meanings at the bottom. So this is King of Cups. This is the one I pulled. And, tying it back again to opportunities, Eight of Wands, not being too competitive, keeping balance, keeping yourself in this present state. Um, we pulled two Ace of Cups, so that's pretty cool. This is King of Cups. He's like the king of all the emotions. He's measured, he doesn't lash out, he doesn't blurt things out. He knows exactly what he's saying. And this is the King of Cups, and she's, I guess, the king, but she's pouring hot water into what looks like a coffee drip thing, which is I just tried this kind of coffee the other day actually, which was kind of fun. Um, and this says, always compose yourself before giving a response. So it has this little lettering at the bottom that gives you a little prompt. And I just think that's so helpful, especially if you're new to tarot. You don't have to think too much, you don't have to dig too deep. You do also have the booklet. So the booklet also has some cute spreads in it, tells you about stuff, all the meanings, acknowledgments. So this is a cute deck. I really like this deck. Again, the cards feel a bit bigger than the average, but they have something new and special in that they have little captions, and just the artwork is so darling. I just love it. Six of Cups, giving yourself compassion, and Seven of Cups. Not every great option you're given will be a great option for you. So I feel like there's lots of stuff coming in for people, and they're coming in hot, especially after the retrograde. And you're going to have to sort of be careful of what you choose. And you're going to have to decide from a place that's more stable and present and not just leap into it. Even though we got the Fool, like the Fool is going into a new journey, but, we have to limit our choices a little bit. And I guess whatever's most exciting to you is the thing you should go for. But, that's my take on it. I wanted to do a little read with each one, like I said, because I wanted to show them in action and show how they shuffle. This deck does really shuffle well as well. It is glossy, but it's not overwhelmingly glossy, so it has that nice balance. And I like the book as well. She also has oracles, I think, oracle cards. I could be wrong, but I think so. So if anyone has any questions, drop them in the chat. If not, I'm going to end this and post it on the ADHD Tarot a little later today with all the links so that you can go look at them, put them in your cart if you want, wait for payday or whatever. Um, Thank you for all the hearts. But I hope everybody got a little something from the readings. I wanted to do something interactive and practical. And I don't know. I feel like we're on a new threshold right now with a lot of things, and we're going to have to be circumspect in how we deal with them. So, that's good. It's good to have opportunity as long as you m- make your choices based on what works for you and not what you think should work for you, right? So, but if anyone has any questions, drop them. If not, I'm going to end this live and put it up on the ADHD Tarot momentarily. Going to keep making faces at myself in the camera. Okay, so I guess everyone's cool. Thank you for everyone who joined. A lot more joined than I expected, honestly. I just this morning said, I kind of want to do a live talking about my favorite mass market decks because there's a lot of people who do these awesome Kickstarters. I should know I have a bunch of the decks, but not everyone has 70 bucks to drop on a deck. I didn't really, I only got a couple for that reason. So these are a nice compromise. Like they have really cool artwork. They're a little different, but they're not going to break the bank. So always a good thing, especially right now. So I'll let you all go and hope you have a great weekend. And keep an eye out for the post version of this. It'll have all the links. I'll also include the AI personality deck thing, the read that I do for each deck. You pull cards, you see what it tells you, and you can use AI to sort of summarize it and put it into a chart. So take care, everyone. Thanks for coming.